Proverbs chapter 15, verse 10. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die. I want to start off by saying, Kal Halayimlah, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honor to our apostles, our elders, the great millstone who still ruling and teach well. Peace, blessings, and safety unto the Lord's elect. Scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing this word in humility and sincerity as commanded by Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our apostles, elders, the great millstone who still ruling and teach well. And it's true, you have to be receptive to correction and rebuke. And if we're not going to make it. The region that I'm in, our senior camp is the Chicago camp. And if you know anything about the Chicago camp, you're going to get your ass rebuked when you go out there. Not because they're looking for something to correct you on, but because that camp is known for correction often, and correction is grievous unto an individual that forsakes the way of the Lord, that doesn't want to go the way of the Lord, because you could bump your head, or you could let a man tell you, hey, you're about to bump your head, and you could not bump your head, Correction and reproof of instructions are a way of life. Let me get that. Meaning what? The way to everlasting life. Okay? If you hate correction, then you love death. It's Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Okay? It's a feminine trait for when somebody is rebuking you or somebody corrects you to go into defense mode, to go into justification mode. That's what women do, because women lack accountability. So you get around the body, you get around men, you get around elders, because they will hold you accountable, and they will allow your spirit to grow, because they're holding you accountable and making you correct the things that otherwise would be neglected if you didn't have all these eyes on you. This is Job chapter 5, verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth, therefore despise thou. So I'm going to read that again because I got disconnected. This is Job chapter 5, verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Heavenly Father correcteth. And how is he going to correct you? He's going to correct you through the leadership. He's going to correct you through brothers. It says, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Because it says, for whom the Most High loveth, he chasteneth. And what son did he chasten him not? So if you think you're going to go through this truth and you're going to say what you want to say and do what you want to do, and nobody's going to step to you, nobody's going to correct you through the Spirit of the Lord, then you dead wrong, man. And then when if you think that every time you get corrected, 99% of the time, or 100% of the, I say 99% of the time, right? 99% of the time, the people that's coming up against you is in the wrong and not you. You a fool. Okay? Because we're set for the defense of the gospel. Okay? Meaning, even on the opposite end, being in this truth, you have to rebuke somebody. The spirit is not going to allow you to contain yourself to where you're just going to be in the truth and you're going to teach, but you're never going to rebuke nobody. So eventually you're going to see something that's off, and it's going to vex you to the point where you got to correct this individual. You got to rebuke this brother. Somebody close to you, or somebody on the other side of the world, man. But rebuke should be welcome. Let's look at this word rebuke. in the Hebrew, Leviticus 19:17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. The guys that say you hate them because you rebuke them, because you tell them that you're going off, man. You broke down the scriptures wrong. You broke down the scriptures wrong. If you break down the scriptures wrong, somebody's going to correct you, man. It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. It's a sin to break down the scriptures wrong, man. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, man. Okay? Let's go to the word rebuke in the Hebrew and see what it says. Ooh! Let's read it in NLT. Do not nurse hatred in your heart for any of your relatives, talking about the Israelites. Confront people directly so you will not be held guilty for their sins. Now let's go to the word. Yeah, we're supposed to mark individuals that teach contrary things, man. Okay? If you're teaching contrary, your ass is going to get marked. Because that means you teaching contrary to the doctrine. Which means you breaking down the scriptures wrong. You're wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. When somebody's right, we don't get on them. We let them do their thing because they're right. You know? More power to you if you're doing the right thing. If you're teaching the wrong thing, then somebody might correct you, man. The word rebuke is yakach, to prove, decide, judge, rebuke, reprove, correct, be right. To judge. Yeah, we're going to judge you. We're going to judge you. We're going to examine you. We're going to scope you. The word scope is the word mark in Romans 16:17, which means to basically put you under a microscope, to carefully look at, to closely examine, to show to be right. This is more in the definition of reprove. Prove, convince, convict, reprove, chide. Yeah, brother may chide you in correction. You look at the word chide. Scold, or rebuke. The brother may scold you. If you don't have thick skin, you're not gonna last, man. You know? So yeah, you gotta have a little bit of, what they call thick skin. But really what it is, a better way to put it is you gotta have a spiritual mind. Okay? You gotta have a spiritual mind, man. Proverbs 27:5 says this: open rebuke is better than secret love. So open rebuke is better than somebody loving you in secret. Somebody openly telling you that you're going off is better than somebody loving you in secret, like you have a secret admirer. It's better that somebody correct you in front of others than for somebody to admire you secretly. Get out of here, man. Verse 6, faithful are the wounds of a friend, because a friend may wound you, a friend may hurt your feelings. But the kisses of an enemy are deceitful, okay? And you cannot forget that, because the unrebukable will die. The unrebukable will die. If you think that you are unrebukable, you're not going to make it, okay? And the scriptures say it over and over again. This is Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 17. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh in search of him. Now let's look at that in the NLT. Because you may think that you're right until a brother comes around. Like I said, that's why you have the body. You get around the body and the body will search you out. And that's a good thing. You know? If you running away from that, then there's something wrong. Proverbs 18 verse 17, he that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. Now it says in the NLT, the first to speak in court sounds right until the cross-examination begins. Right. So you may think that you're right in your own eyes. The scriptures even speak about that being right in your own eyes. But you have to rely on spiritual men around you. Let me see. How is it worded? You have to rely on spiritual men around you to keep you on the straight and narrow. Proverbs 3 verse 7, be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Proverbs 12:15, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. Okay? So you have to always keep this in mind, okay? And there's never a wrong time for somebody to correct you, okay? Don't matter how they do it. Nobody got to try to get your phone number. Nobody got to wait for the right opportunity. You know, we could do it. It's 3 in the morning. We could do it at 9 a.m. You know, a brother. Now I will say this: the scriptures speak about not to rebuke a brother in his wine. You know, so we have enough spiritual sense to not do that. You know, your brother's having a good time. You know, getting nice, drinking yayan, maybe some strong drink. We're not gonna sit up there and have a council. You know, in the midst of all of that. But pretty much every other time, hey, you know, open season, as they say, free game. You know, if you're going off, if you do something off, if you break down the scriptures wrong, you're going to be corrected. This is Sirach 22, verse 6. A tale out of season is as music in mourning. A tale out of season is as music in mourning. So just picture that somebody want to tell a story at the wrong time. Somebody wants to, you know, tell their experience at the wrong time. Is as music in mourning. So here it is, you have a bunch of people mourning, and this guy comes around in a happy go jolly spirit playing music. That's irritating. You know, it's disrespectful. But it says, but stripes and correction of wisdom are never out of time. Okay, so like I said, the scripture say, let the righteous smite me, and it shall be a kindness unto me. It says stripes and correction of wisdom are never out of time. So there's never a wrong time to be corrected. You know, we should always embrace it. We should always use it as a time to examine ourselves. Scriptures say to examine yourself whether thou be in the faith. Okay. I'm just looking at my laptop here to see if I can get any more. But we had to examine ourselves daily. Okay, it's not just well, I examined myself last week. I know I'm good, brother. You know, 1 Timothy 5:20, it says, them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear. 2 Timothy 4, verse 2, preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. This is a part of the work of the ministry. Preaching the word, in season and out of season, reproving and rebuking, exhorting with all long suffering and doctrine. Let me go to the word rebuke in the Greek since I got it in the Hebrew. Let's get it in the Greek. I'm on my laptop, so select.
Strong's G 2008. Epitimao. Epitimao.
Okay, epitimao, right? And it says, to honor, show honor, to honor, raise the price of, to adjure. Okay, now here's the one that we want, to tax with fault, rate, chide. Again, there's the word chide, rebuke, reprove, censure severely. Let me look up this word, censure. The word censure says refers to strong criticism or disapproval of someone or something. So be open to strong criticism or disapproval of someone or something while you're in the truth. Or I should say disapproval of yourself or something that you did in the truth. You got to be open to that. It says admonition, charge sharply, forbid straitly, charge, rebuke. It's good when a brother points out something that you're doing wrong or something that you can improve on, because 9 times out of 10 it's something that you knew. It's an issue that you might have known that you had, but you know that it's real when a brother tells you about it, because that's the Lord speaking through them. And that means that if you don't correct it, now the Lord is going to magnify that issue, and it could become a real hindrance to your walk in this truth. That's why the Lord has brothers speak to you or rebuke you or reprove you on certain things that you may do or may say, because it is becoming a real issue, and it could affect your faith. It could affect your walk in the truth. It could pull you out of the truth. Okay, so you have to always be open to these things. It says in 2 Timothy 4 verse 3, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, because sound doctrine has to be endured. Okay. It says, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears. They're gonna try to do their own thing. They're gonna take what men taught them. They're gonna twist it, this and that. That's all a part of prophecy. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Fables meaning lies, because the truth that we have is 100%. It's not 99%. It's not 90%. The stage in the game that we're at now is the end, the very end. There's not another generation coming after this, a new generation of elders coming after this. And we say this according to faith. Obviously, no man knoweth the day, no man knoweth the hour. But we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah that this is the last generation, man. The elders are the last, this is it, man. And we don't want it to be no other generation after this. We don't want to be here for another 40, 30 years, man. Are you crazy? So we're looking for this to be the end, okay? We know that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah, there is no lie of the truth. So if anybody turns from this that is being preached, they're going to turn unto fables, their own imagination. It said, but watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. Lord, when it's edifying, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Kwam Yashua, Shalom.